The European Union, the United States and the UK have strongly condemned the violence. The US ambassador to Myanmar, Thomas Vajda, has tweeted, "Security forces are murdering unarmed civilians, including children, the very people they swore to protect. This bloodshed is horrifying." He added, "Myanmar's people have spoken clearly. They do not want to live under military rule." The UK's Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab said, "Today's killing of unarmed civilians, including children, marks a new low. We'll work with our international partners to end the senseless violence, hold those responsible to account and secure a path back to democracy." Andrew Hein was the UK ambassador in Myanmar at a time of great political reform, which saw the release of Aung San Suu Kyi from detention in June 2010. He joins me now. Mr. Hein, thanks so much for joining us. You saw that message from Dominic Raab. How far do these strongly worded statements go in terms of having any impact on a regime that has made a point of ignoring international criticism?
Well, James, it's a fair question. I mean, these are horrifying developments in Myanmar, and we've seen these aren't the first shootings by any means. This is just one of the worst days. This is a murderous, brutal regime which has seized power, having been roundly elected by the electorate, rejected by the electorate, and is prepared to do anything to hold on to it. Where I think these statements are very important is that you cannot allow acts like this to go without being condemned. They're not the only thing you can use, but it does really matter that these statements go out, and they go out to make clear the condemnation of acts of this sort.
We know it was Armed Forces Day today. There was a giant military parade. That parade was attended, from what we understand, by some of the following countries: Russia, China, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Laos and Thailand. If those countries are willingly watching the military junta's show of armed force, why would any of them ever want to take part in an international arms embargo?
Well, look, I mean, that is a question for them, and I think the pressure that is being put on them to change that approach is extremely important, and we're seeing that from ASEAN, who've asked for the Brunei presidency to call a meeting of ASEAN countries to see what can be done about this. That's an unusual step for ASEAN to take. The fact is, look at the countries who weren't there. That is a major statement of intent by the international community.
But the gamble from the military junta is that if you've got Russia, China, India and a few others, you can probably survive.
I'm sure they are gambling in that way. I think there are a number of things to look at. The Russians seem to be bending over backwards to show their support for the regime, which is really very disappointing. And if you can judge a country by the company that it keeps, that's making a massive statement about Russia. The others, their positions have been, in most cases, more nuanced than that. But as I say, just to underline, there are so many countries who would normally have been there who were not there. That is sending a very loud statement.
You were in Myanmar. You were posted there from 2009 to 2013 when the country was beginning its transition towards a partial democracy. Did you get the sense at the time that it could all be taken away so suddenly?
I think it was clear by the way that the military retained some key powers, and not least a guaranteed 25% block in the parliament, that they were hedging their position very carefully. But no, it felt that the way that the country embraced the opening up, it felt it would be very difficult to reverse that. But it was clear, and the ambassador on the ground, the British ambassador on the ground, along with colleagues, gave an expression of concern in the run-up to the coup that this might be coming. So no, it wasn't unexpected. It's tragic, frankly, what has happened. And it is something which I dearly hope it's going to be possible to reverse.
Andrew Hein, thank you so much.